None of this is going to fit itself, is it? Greetings friends and welcome back to Crusty Diaries, the series, episode 7 today, and we are quite literally now doing the job that I have been dreading doing. And when I say I've been dreading it, I've literally put this off to the point where, well, it's mid-July, I'm now on holiday, supposed to be going abroad, but that's not happening, so less about that, more about the car. Yeah, we need to do the brake lines, these things here now. Thankfully, we're not using these today, we're only using this one, which I have already sort of pre-formally bent into a rough shape, because we're only doing across the rear cross member, and we are hopefully going to be fitting 2 of these braided lines and the new calipers on the rear. That's all we're doing today, but in order to do that, we have to remove the old stuff first, and well, it's only like 6 bolts, but these are 6 bolts or nuts that I have put off for so long. I now have this big thing in my brain going, this is pivotal to my existence as someone who works on his car. If I don't get this done, the whole thing's off, right? I've built it up and built it up and built it up, so much so to the point that I've taken advice from anyone who would listen to me, and I ended up buying some of this stuff just to try and get the actual bolts all lubricated up over the last few days, just to take them off. And I've been told by a few other people as well that it's actually a doddle to do this job. Normally that means that it's going to go horribly wrong for me, but well, we'll see what happens. So what do we need for this today? Well, we need an assortment of spanners, myself included, and a massive one just in case it all goes tits up, which, as I've said a million times, it will. And apparently we need a flared wrench, but I don't really see why. Everything looks like it's all going to be used with the normal stuff, but let's begin. The first thing that we need to do is get this 15mm undone so that this bracket comes off, and then it can be attached to the new caliper. Just don't look too closely at the paint job. So this is the left. This should sit like this, I believe. There we go. That's the right orientation. Round about there. Bolt that into there, and then we can work on all this gubbins up here, and we'll deal with that later. But yeah, let's do this first, because this is hopefully going to be one of the least difficult jobs of the day. Should have done this when it was attached to the car. Didn't want to break out the torque wrench today, but I have a feeling I'm going to. Oh, fuck this. Failed to prepare. I mean, what's the point, right? I've got these tools, I might as well use them rather than sitting here horsing away at that for hours. This out the way. This in here. Maybe this is a 14. Well, we are off to a fabu start. Yeah, it's a 14, not a 15. I'm doing well. There we go, that's the 14mm removed, just like that. I'm going to say this again, I said this in episode 1. Worth every goddamn penny, this thing. Every single penny that I've paid for it. Right, that's the end of the talking just now. Next bit, how in the hell do we get this freed off? Now I think the best thing to do would maybe be just to go in underneath and remove the brake line first, because it's all going to be coming apart, so I don't know. As I said originally, we need to get right under here and just loosen this off. if it will loosen off in the first place. In case this is actually a flared. Oh! Oh! This flared's done the business. Yeah, flared for that one underneath there. Don't know how I'm going to get the main one out, but yes, let's get back under. Right. Just eating a bit of rust. I like that this time of day. Oh. More rust. Right, that's it. Now, next bit, get this all the way out. Hopefully, you can see what I'm doing. I'm not quite 100% sure how in the hell this comes out of here. Here comes the brake fluid. I think what I'm going to do is pinch the line. Just try and at least prevent it from going too overboard. Oh, there it goes. Right. That's out. Just bend that up. Right. Got one bit done. Alright, so it just pops straight out. Now I'm trying to turn that like an absolute idiot that doesn't realise what he's doing. Well, that's not so bad. Yeah, there we go. I thought this needed to come... Oh, God, I'm an idiot. I didn't do any research for this, or it's because I've been so petrified. Right, so this is now leaking brake fluid everywhere, but we now have this complete set. And I need to take the Banjo out now, because I'm recycling it. It's the one bolt that I haven't bought new for this kit. There we go. One old caliper, complete with brake fluid leaking all over the shop. Done, gone forever. Bring this in. New washers. That one goes in there. Bolt, washer bolt thing. That's in there. Put that through there. Now we just push this whole shit together. Sorry, I'm swearing a lot. I know, I can't help it. I'm really nervous today about doing this. Right, so it was washer thing. So let's try that again. And if it isn't meant to have a washer at the bottom, then I'll take it off afterwards. But I have a feeling it is meant to be like that. Right, that's on ticked. Ready to go. So there you have it. The old, right here, versus the new. This one. Which do you think looks better? And this has obviously been badly painted by me. Just ignore the paint job. I'm not going for a Picasso-esque finish. I'm more going for the idea of just to make it look functional. Right, with this side now done and brake fluid leaking all over the shop here. Lovely, there you are. Doing its own thing in there. Let's move on to the driver's side and we'll do that now. Alrighty, the fun never stops. So we're now on the driver's side, which is a little bit easier to use. We're going to be replacing this little connector block, which basically divides the brakes into going over to the passenger side and then off to the driver's side caliper, which we're going to be replacing as well with the new one, which looks a bit like that. That just sits on there, and then we'll be putting in the new line that goes across. This has been done off because apparently it's heavily corroded, don't you know? Yes, I'm not going to lie. So, first things first, let's get the Banjo removed, which of course happens to be a completely different size as what it was on the passenger side, weirdly. It's a 13 on this side, 14 on the other. Go figure. Right, that's off just now. So now I can basically get the caliper gone and just let brake fluid leak absolutely everywhere. What's the best way to do this? Let's disconnect these two lines. Oh, it's coming apart. I don't want to say it, but yeah, as I was told by some people, this is coming apart. Right, so get these off. Just going to make sure that this one loosens off before we go any further. Oh, that's actually twisted. Oh, yeah. It is actually twisting. I mean, I don't really, in fairness, I don't actually need this to come out of this block because the whole thing's coming out, but, you know, for satisfaction, I'd rather it all just went on its own. Jeez, look at the rust. We'll be right back. I'll speed this bit up. I don't know whether this is just a combination of the stuff that has been used or whether it is just easier to do this than I was expecting, but this really has come apart way easier than I was expecting. But I've still got two nuts to get off. I believe these are probably 10s, aren't they? This will be the ones that don't come off. I mean, sure. Okay. Last one. Look at that. Mechanic of the year I am. And there we have it. The transfer box, which is all bit. It's not a transfer box, but you know what I mean. Mechanic of the year I am. And then we put the new one in. I'm not actually going to fit it yet, but that's basically where that'll go. And then that goes in there, and then the other one goes in as well. And that's us, we're done. But first, we need to get this damn thing unclipped and out. In order to do that, I'm going to have to get right underneath Scarlet, so bear with. Oh well, of course it's going to come with its clip. There we go. It's not often I won't say anything, but I'm quite pleased. Right, let's get the new one bent. So here we have it then, the old pipe, which is in a mess, and this is the new one, which is made out of some sort of fancier copper nitro blend or something or other. I couldn't get the exact like for like, so we had to go with what was available at the time. And I've got a pipe bending tool because this stuff is not as flexible as pure straight up copper is. So we need to get this bent into a kind of rough semblance of a shape of what the original was before it goes back on Scarlet. And in order to do that, I've got to put pipe in, bring it up to roughly here, close this over. So I want this to be quite a bend, like that. I think that's kind of close. Is that close? It is! It is! It is! Look at that! Look at that! I know what I think I know what I'm doing. To put that back in. Back in. So it needs to come down to about, is it 135? Yeah, about 135. So bring this round. There we go. Right. So with that bend done, now we can just straighten the rest of it up. And it doesn't need to be extremely neat, this. It's not going to be. But yeah, that's kind of close. So that's about right there. Bend this way. Follow the lines. Bend up the way. Along to here. And we can bend down a bit. And then up a bit. And then back down a bit. I don't want to finish this because I have bent this out of shape, so I'll finish it at this side, but that now looks pretty close to what I'm after. It's not 100%, but I mean, come on. That's not bad, you know. That'll do. Right, see if it will actually fit. There it is. It's in. Sort of. Kind of. It's there. I'm going to hook it in place. We'll be right back. So I've now got that clipped in, and we are now moving on to the next bit, which is putting this all back together. I've got to be honest, right, I know I've said this already, but I really did blow this all out of proportion. This is actually easier than I thought. When I was told that it was easier than, you know, I was making it out to be, I thought, okay, but actually, this is going okay so far. I mean, still got to get it all put back together properly, but so just get these started in there, and then in this one. Right, so that gets them started, so now I can slot that back into place. That's ready. Get the two wee bolts, put them back in. That's not the right side. Yeah, where did they go? Ah, there they are. This one in here, like that. This one on here like that. Now I am probably going to end up replacing all the brake lines, but right now I'm only brave enough to do the rear because I've got to jack scallop back up on the front in order to do all through the back and that, and get her off the ground on this side as well, because I'm not on a level playing field, so unfortunately I don't feel right jacking her up on all four corners on this slopey drive. So yeah, I won't be doing that. But for the moment, all I need is to get the rear done so I can get the rear suspension rebuilt, and then we can get the brake lines on the front done, because when in Rome, might as well just do the lot. £10mm flare, thank God. I did actually buy this for when I was doing the, what was it called again? When I done the clutch master cylinder, I ended up running out and buying this because I made the mistake of thinking, you don't need that. You do, and you definitely need it for this job as well. It just makes it easier for getting in around the bolts. Weirdly though, you don't actually need the flare for this one. And there we go. The next job is the banjo on this side, so get one of those in there. Offer this up, put that in there, locate it, ooh, have it all fall apart and then do it again, locate it, there we go. I think we're in. I'm not quite sure why you need a washer on that side, but it is what it is. And that in there. Et voila, that one's done. And now I just need to put this back together. And we'll look at that, it's proper artistic merit right here. That's what this is. You're using rusty old bolts on brand new, freshly painted equipment. Oh, that smell coming from those bikes. That's that back together, just about. That's nice and tight there.
Hello, TC here. We're now going to witness a debacle. OK, here's the clip.
Just get the cable back in play. Somehow. This was a pain in the arse to get this to go the first time. Get in there. I think the problem is, because this is new, it's so hard to move it. Come on. Aye, 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 aye. Gloves, need gloves. My hands are getting stuck. Right, let's try this again. With gloves on. Get in there and turn. Well, I knew this was all going too easy. I think we might have to worry about putting this back in when it's back in the car. I don't know how the hell I got this off again. I don't remember. I think it was actually I got it off before I took everything off Scarlett, so yeah, I think I might just leave that sitting there, and then once I get purchase I'll put that back on. Basically all that happens here is this goes in there like that, and then that's basically the actual thing that slots into place. I cannot get it to grip just now because it's not held in anything, so once I can actually get this to jam open. Handbrake's off, by the way, and that's what puts tension on the table. The table, for God's sake. On this thing. This is actually in the completely open state, so get in there. See, because this is a brand new spring. Ow! Nah, I'll get that later. Let's do the passenger side. I've often said it's blind leading the blind here, but in this case I really do mean it's just me being blind and everyone else shouting at me that this is how you do it. So yes, I have discovered how I done this. Take the bolt off, put that in there, twist it, that's in place, that will stay in place, and then you just put the bolt in. And then the job is indeed a good one. Like this. There you are. Put the bolt in. And there you have one fully matched up, ready to go brake line. I'll sort that out on the driver's side. And with that, there you have it. That is exactly what it should look like once it's all put back together, obviously minus the rusty bits that I'm leaving on there. Basically, that's how the handbrake would pull on with the cable, and then we've obviously got the brake line now. So, we need to get that fed in, and this is apparently straightforward. I don't see why it shouldn't be, because so far, so, this goes in one way and one way only, and I just need to find it. That's it there. So that goes in there. We get the new washer grommet doodad. That goes in here through the back. Should find where it's sitting. Press that in there, and then that will stop that from moving. Give it a few light slams on the back side.
Oh, Arthur, would you be allowed to lend me your hose pipe?
There we go. So that holds that in place. I'm not quite sure how I can show you this, but I'll give it a go. The last thing to get hooked in, this business, which I believe should just slot in. Quick bend later. Whoop, there we go, she's in. bit more rust's always good for what ails you at the end of the day. The 12 in. It's not a 10, it's not a 12, it's an 11. Tighten this in place. I don't want to overkill this because I don't want to munch shit up, but I think that's tight enough. Yep, any more than that I'd be killing it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, is the rear caliper installed and brand new braided lines along with a new hard line fitted to the rear of Scarlet. And that was a lot easier than I was expecting. I'm sorry to disappoint anyone who came here for lots of my usual levels of inadequacies, but yeah, there wasn't that many today. And on that note, we will call it quits there for today. On the next episode, this is obviously part one of the renovation of the brake system, because I've still got to do the bleeding and replace a lot of lines on the front. So this is the end of part one. Part 2 will be after the next video, which will be the rebuilding of all this bit in here, putting in the rear suspension, because I need to get Scarlet back on the ground to lift her back off the front, to put on the new front calipers and the front lines and all that. So yes, we'll get to part 2 in an episode and a bit's time. For now though, we'll call it quits. As always, if you have been, thank you very much for watching. Take care as always, and yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Can't believe how easy that was. I'm going to pay for that.